I accidentally made the AS VAL in Cold War, and the funny thing is, when you try and make like custom weapon variants, and you're like, oh hey, I'll just make a goofy weapon that looks cool. Most of the time, they're actually not very effective. But this particular AS VAL class in Cold War, I mean, it's the AK74u, but don't tell anyone. This AS VAL class setup absolutely shreds people. I was very, very surprised by how effective this actually was in this game, and we're going to talk about the best class setup for the AK74u or the AS VAL, depending on how you want to look at it. But just before we do so, make sure you do hit that subscribe button with those notifications turned on. We are, of course, looking for 4,000 subscribers by the end of the year, which would mean an awful lot to me if we could hit that. You can see that he's holding the AK-74U in his hands there, and it looks kinda nothing like the AS VAL, but we'll get there, we'll make it look like it, and it'll be a fantastic gun in this game. Alrighty, so you can just see here, like, you look at the AK-74U on the gunsmith wall, and you're like, is that the AS VAL? Is it? That could be it. And let me flash up the real AS VAL on the screen here right now. You compare these two, they look exactly the same. Like, this is a very, very good comparison here. Plus, as I mentioned earlier, most of the time these style of weapon variants aren't effective, but this one absolutely bangs in this particular game. But starting off here, we are looking at the Gallo SA-12. It is always very, very strong to have a shotgun in these close quarter situations. You run into a very tight quarters area, you pull out your shotgun and you blast people away. This is especially effective on something like Nuketown, where you run into the buildings and you can just blast people away with your shotgun. We're not going to worry about the attachments here because you can pretty much choose whatever you do like on your shotgun. In the tactical slot, we are looking at that stim shot. Basically, getting that extra chance per life is very, very important. Getting that sort of extra health regen after you get into a gunfight and you win that gunfight is very, very important. Then, of course, that Semtex as well. You can choose whatever you do like in the lethal slot. A lot of people like using the Tomahawk because they just instantly kill people. A lot of fun to use. Molotov good, Semtex good, C4 good, Frag good. So choose whatever you do like here. In the field upgrade slot, we are taking the field microphone because getting that sort of mini advanced UAV, and it does cover a lot of the map, especially on something like Nuketown. It covers a very, very significant portion of the map. If you can protect it, if you put it in a good spot, you can cover a serious amount of distance here. Then, of course, we are looking at our Wildcard, which is perk grid. As we usually do, we're running 6 perks on this bad boy. You can run Gunfighter and choose some extra attachments, but I don't think that's really necessary here. In terms of our perks, we are looking at Flak Jacket as a mandatory option at the moment, especially on those smaller maps like your Nuketowns and your Crossroads mini version. Essentially, there is explosives everywhere, and Flak Jacket does help you survive. Tac Mask, also a good option because flashbangs and stuns are currently being used fairly frequently, but forward intel is just too good to go past here. Essentially, just getting that indicator of where people are spawning. If people do manage to flip the spawn, which is super, super common on Nuketown, stay out of their spawns, just let it happen. They will flip and you will get an indication on your minimap, and it also shows a larger area, which is nice as well. In the perk 2 slot, we do have Gearhead and of course Scavenger, which gets us extra ammo from players that we do run over, and of course Gearhead gives us extra field microphones. Perk 3 slot, we are running Ghost and Ninja because this is a stealth class. As you know, the AS VAL / the AK-74u is about stealth. Right, so you're looking at the AK-74u and you're like, man, that looks an awful lot like the AS VAL, but what are the attachments that we do run here? Well, we are, of course, starting off with that sound suppression, which does actually change the iron sights on this particular weapon, and once you do see it in-game, you'll be like, yeah, that's the same gun, that this is the AS VAL. Which is very, very cool here. We do get that muzzle flash concealment, of course. We do lose a little bit of damage range, but we can, of course, make up for that as well, which is not too big of a deal. In the barrel slot, we are looking at that VDV reinforced barrel for that increase to our effective damage range of 18%, and, of course, the bullet velocity of 80% as well. The AK-74u / AS VAL does have a very high bullet velocity as it is, but this particular option here does mean so we can actually smash targets with this. It is a very, very powerful option in this game. You can, of course, also look at the rifled barrel as well, just to increase our damage range a little bit further as well. In the underbarrel slot, we are going for that Spetsnaz grip for that 6% increase to our vertical recoil control, as well as that 20% increase to our horizontal recoil control, which means we are very, very accurate with this particular weapon. It means we can run around with our sort of pinpoint iron sight and pick people off very, very easily here. In the magazine slot, we're going with the VDV 50 round fast mag because it looks most like the other option, of course. The AK-74u doesn't actually fire in the same ammunition as the AS VAL, but we can pretend here. Let's just pretend that this is the AS VAL and it absolutely beans people. And lastly, of course, to complete our AS VAL class setup look here, we're going for that Spetsnaz PKM stock for that shooting movement speed and aim walking movement speed. Essentially, this does complete our look, as I said, but it's also a fairly powerful attachment in this game for those stats that we mentioned earlier. Now, of course, some of you may be pointing out that the actual fire rate on the AS VAL versus this particular weapon are significantly different. I think the fire rate on the AS VAL in Modern Warfare is about 900 rounds per minute, and this sits at a lowly 700, so they're not really comparable in that regard, but when you look at it in game, it is exactly the same. Like, you look at it and you'd be like, man, that is such a cool weapon. So let's just jump into some gameplay here and see how we get on. You might have been skeptical before, but I mean, like, look at this thing. Like, look at it. Like, it's the same. Like, it's the same weapon, even aimed down sight. You're like, man, those iron sights are very, very similar. Not exactly the same, but I mean, we can pretend here. We did make the AS VAL in, of course, Cold War, which is pretty goofy. And the funny thing is, I was actually just vibing last night. I'm like, man, I want to see what that suppressor looks like on this particular weapon. And then I went off, absolutely banged some people, and actually turned out to be very, very... This is not the Spaz 12. I lied. This isn't the Spaz 12. I'm in a little bit of danger here. Okay, now we have the Spaz 12. But I mean... Nuketown. Nuketown hitting exactly the same as Nuketown always does. Nuketown feeling good. Nuketown, unsurprisingly, good. Good map. This is not news to anyone, but, I mean, this basically just feels like Black Ops days. Running around with the AK74. Feels good. Feels very, very good, of course. We got the War Machine already. Yeet. This thing is busted. This thing's busted as hell. They flipped the spawns. Okay, that's okay. We can still... We can still get the job done here. Hey. Hey, settle down. No, we used it all. We used it all up. Yeah, we should watch this. We're in good form here. We should watch this. No. Hold up. No. We should never have left. Never leave. Everything's okay. Everything's fine. I don't know where they're spawning. Other side. Yes, got him. Alrighty. If we weren't going so hard here and we were waiting a little bit on the cooldown for some of these sort of... what? Is this a bot game? I know some of you are going to be like, man, he's doing the whole... He's doing the whole thing where you cheat and you get easy lobbies, but this is like the third game I've played today and I didn't win. Oh, I did win the other two. I don't know. I don't know what the go is here. These guys don't seem very good. Alright, we'll reload. We're going to push up the side. Okay, they flipped again. This is okay. This is okay. Because we do have forward intel and we know exactly where they're spawning, so we know when to rotate across the map. Bad, bad, very bad. Oh, jeez, that was a close one. Oh, we didn't get the kill there? Are you serious? Alright, I'll move. There's a guy above. Oh, no, don't. Oh, leave me be. Just leave me be. Just give me a second. Give me a second. Oh, we gotta go. He's coming into the building. He's going upstairs. Alright. Flipped. They flipped. They flipped. I didn't see they flipped. This is fine. This is fine. 22. Oh, boy, they were very unhappy with me being in there. Oh, that was gonna be a nuke, wasn't it? We were gonna nuke up there. Ah, oh, man. Hey, where's my gun? What? There it is. Like, I gave my gun away. So yeah, this what? Ah, shotgun. Shotgun at close range. What can you do? So it kind of goes without saying here. This is going quite well. Like, yeah, this gameplay really could not have gone any better. At showing just how powerful this quote-unquote AS VAL is in this game. Like, I mean, this game wasn't the highest quality, like, wasn't against the best opposition, but I mean, the gun's still good. Like, you can't blame me. You can only play against what you get put up against. It's not my fault. That is not a person. I keep flipping the spawns. When you play on Nuketown, boys, when you play on Nuketown, don't go into the backyards. If you stay in the house, right, just hear me out. If you stay in the house, the spawns don't flip. And you can spawn trap them very easily. I don't understand how people don't know that. It's like, Nuketown has been played like 55 different times, and people still go out the backyards and ruin the spawns. Anyway, we'll have our final thoughts on this AS VAL class setup in just a second here. I mean, what more do you need to know about this particular AS VAL class setup in this game? Of course, it is the AK74u, but it's a lot of fun to make these style of weapons that are a little bit different. They look like other weapons. It's cool, hidden variant stuff that really makes me enjoy the gunsmith. But I mean, not only is it looking fantastic in this game, but it's actually really, really effective. Like, we did such a good job there. I'm very, very impressed with how we managed to do there. That game was not the highest quality, but I mean, we did fine, so it is what it is, I guess. Thank you very much for watching this one. Of course, the AS VAL or the AK74u in Cold War is an absolute banger of a weapon in this game, and I really do appreciate you checking out this video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you have not already done so for more goofy stuff like this. Of course, we do best class setups. We do top 10s, top 5s, all this other good stuff in the game right now. Make sure you don't miss any of that. Thank you very much for watching, as I said 1,000 times, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!